Now this is a pork shoulder. It's the meat from the shoulder of the pig with all the connective tissue around its complex muscle structure. And it needs to be cooked long and slowly to break down the muscles, while the extra fat will add flavor and melt through the meat, making it moist. Now the first thing we do with a shoulder like this is to dry marinate it. And I'm making the marinade. It is 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, packed, 2 tablespoons of coarse salt, which doesn't have to be packed, 2 teaspoons of sweet paprika, and use a nice sweet paprika, 1 teaspoon of pepper, a half a teaspoon of dry mustard, and cayenne pepper, a half a teaspoon, and cumin. Cumin, oh, just a wonderful, wonderful flavor, and that too is about a half a teaspoon. So stir that all up, and it's quite red, so I would suggest wear a pair of rubber gloves to rub this into the meat. I keep a box of surgeon gloves right under my kitchen sink because it really does save your hands from peeling beets to chopping very green herbs to rubbing something like a pork shoulder. And as you rub it in, you can see the fat assumes the color of the paprika and the cumin. And this should stay on the meat for, as I said, 2 hours or overnight in the refrigerator. So I would say that's well coated, and now wrap the whole thing with some plastic wrap and put into the refrigerator. The sugar caramelizes as the meat cooks and adds a nice deep color to the meat. So here's our colorful pork butt. It is a little bit wet, so make sure before you start to brown it, and we're going to sear it in a big pan in which it's going to cook, make sure that you try to dry it as well as you can with paper toweling. Just about 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil. Canola oil is good, grapeseed oil is good. You could use peanut oil. Now the pork butt, as you heard Pat LaFreda tell us, is really not the butt of the pork, but the shoulder. Pork butt like this, it weighs anywhere from 8 to 10 pounds, and it will serve a crowd as shredded pork on buns with barbecue sauce. That's how we're going to use it. It is browning nicely. You can see the bone right here. That's the shoulder bone. And remember which side is the fatty side, because that side has to be up during the braising process, because all that nice fat's going to drip down the sides and into the meat itself. See the nice caramelization? That's the sugar. It is helping this meat caramelize, and it smells so good. I can smell the cayenne, and I can smell the cumin and the paprika all at once. And we have one more side to brown. Okay, we're ready to go here. Now add 2 cups of water. It might splutter a little bit. Have your oven preheated to 325 degrees, and make sure that you have moved all racks to 2 inches from the bottom. You have to leave plenty of room for a pot this size. We'll cover the pot and into the oven. It's going to be staying in there for 5 to 6 hours, and you're going to baste it every hour for 5 to 6 hours. There it is in all its glory. It is a fantastic piece of meat. Oh, it is falling apart, as it should. We're going to use 2 forks to shred it and have the best pork barbecue. And that is a really beautiful pile of pork. Just take 2 forks and a piece of the meat and shred it like this. So beautiful. Because it's so perfectly cooked, the meat does shred very, very nicely. So now, would you like a sandwich? A pork sandwich, yum. And we have a Texas-style barbecue sauce, which is wet and spicy. A pile of the shredded meat. Don't skimp. And maybe another little spoon of sauce right here. That looks like a really good barbecue sandwich. Looks great. Enjoy. It's fit for a crowd.